Hey, 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 hey. It is so great to see so many of you that I haven't seen in a while. The sanctuary is getting fuller and more full. Yes, I love that. And for you online, that's significantly important that you're here as well. Whew, I'm catching my breath, can you tell? I'm opening up to this moment. I think that means I have to move the slide. I'm just so happy to be back. Many of you know that I've been gone for 3 weeks. And I think one thing's for sure, sacred travel. We take people in our community on sacred travels tours for many reasons, but we get to experience people from different cultures, places in the world. We get to do spiritual practice together, come together as like a micro of this community. You know, there's spiritual practice in every sense of the word when you travel together. Can you imagine? And it was just so priceless to be leading a group of 16. Well, I was one of 16 folks in South Africa and Victoria Falls and Kruger National Park. And then I went on with one other of our community members for my vacation to Uganda. And I will share about this probably for years to come. So this talk is not about that trip today. And it is. So there you go, because I'm forever changed. So we have been talking about all month in exceptional ways through myself and Dr. Peter and Dr. Tracy, 6 steps to paint a new picture. So if you missed any of these steps, as we conclude this month right now and then move a little bit into April, we're going to continue the steps. I invite you to go back and make sure you don't miss any steps. And so today I get to talk about something that I know a lot about, unfortunately. Okay. Taming the Gremlins. Okay, so this is dating you, because it's sure dating me, but I had to use this. Who knows about the movie The Gremlins? You know, come on. If you haven't, check it out. Peter is never going to watch it, and that's okay. But but I watched it when I was younger, and I love it. Gizmo. Right? Okay. So we're going to talk about how to tame our gremlins. Because I don't know about you, but if you don't have gremlins, I want to know what your secret sauce is, but I've got some. You know, they look so cute, don't they? These little fuzzy guys. But you got to keep them away from bright lights. Okay, there are 3 rules with gremlins. You can't get them in sunlight, and they don't like bright lights. That'll actually kill them. So keep them away from the bright lights. You absolutely have to keep them away from water. Anybody knows what happens when you get them close to water? Oh my God, do they multiply? They like boop, 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 and you got so many gremlins, so you better keep them away from the water. And the very, very, very worst thing to do with your gremlins is to feed them after midnight. Not good. So we got these gremlins, and yet nowadays gremlins have been used for, it's a popular term, for those little voices in the head. Yes? Yeah, sometimes not so little, right? These voices in our head, and just like after midnight, these gremlins can feed our fears. Gets pretty out of hand, these gremlins, sometimes. And these gremlins, I don't know about you, but do they ever say you're not enough? Oh, yeah, they do, right? So we have other names for these other than gremlins. You know, you might have heard that they are saboteurs. You know, they like to sabotage things. Boy, do they get in the microwave and do all kinds of things. Again, if you've not seen the movie, none of this relates. But, you know, we also call them inner critics. We have that inner critic, the superego. And I really like this new term in preparing for this talk. Martha Beck calls them the Everybody Committee. Have you heard of an Everybody Committee? It's a committee that there's just a few people on this committee, but it's because of this committee, you think everybody thinks this about you. That's why it's called the Everybody Committee. And it's basically actually based on a mental magnification of just a few people in your life. And they're often the most judgmental people that you know. And this everybody committee is active. Yeah, Peter said, yep. Right? So this was a new term, and I love what Martha Beck says about this, and I'm going to bring some of it in. So, these very, very few people. So I want you to try something first. I want you to just, as an experiment right here, live, right? I want you to try this. I want you, in your own mind, just look at the following sentences with the first thing that pops into your mind. Everybody wants me to... Everybody thinks I'm... Oh, okay. Keep. Everybody expects me to. Everybody's always telling me, right? So these are some key everybody sentences. And for each sentence right now, what I'd like for you to do is to think of real people who have told you, not indirectly or by implication, but in so many words, they've told you whatever just came up, right? And they hold the thoughts and opinions that you just listed. So who are these people? I want you to just take note of them in yourself right now. It's going to be important later, right? Because these people, whoever they are part of your everybody committee. And it's this generalized other, right? And so Martha Beck says that through working with hundreds and hundreds of clients directly, she believes that most of us have very small committees. In fact, often it's just one key individual. But she's never met anyone that has more than 6. Okay, so we're talking about a small number of people that make up this everybody committee, right? So often just one individual or a couple of individuals get planted, and then we subconsciously project their opinions that they gave us very early at age, most often, right? And then we put those opinions on the entire global population. This is the gremlins that makes up our everybody committee, right? And then what happens is they begin to wreak havoc on our lives, don't they? Inside of us. Yes? All right? It's like putting gremlins in water or feeding them past midnight. It's not fun. And again, most of us will assemble this everybody committee haphazardly, and it usually takes place during our childhood, early young years, right? Isn't it interesting? I don't know about you. I mean, this is a committee that lives within me, and we tend to give the best seats. Think of it like a board of directors, right? We tend to give the best seats to the cruelest people. People who hurt our feelings, and people who undermined our dreams. And these are the voices that keep popping up as our gremlins without taming them. They just keep popping up, and they run wild and havoc in our lives, right? So, the key is that most of our lives, unless you're different, which is great, I want your secret sauce, most of our lives have been dominated in part by these gremlins, these saboteurs, these inner critics, these everybody committees, right? And the key is they are totally misaligned with our true, spiritual, authentic selves. This is not the truth of who we are. So, as a result, because of them, we tend to do things in our life called work or relationships or fill in the blank, health, whatever, right? We tend to do things that hold little or no joy for us. We tend to do them. We feel like we're not good enough. Anybody? Come on online. Come on, help me out. They're not raising their hand. And believe that if people really knew who we are, they wouldn't like us. Right? Sound familiar? Okay. Thank you for being honest, Petra. So, So here's a question, like another question, do you live in fear of being rejected thanks to your gremlins? Especially when you set out to live your best life or improve it or go beyond where you are right now. Is that sort of the moments where those gremlins get pretty activated and get in the water and go pop, 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 pop? Yeah. Well, the great news is I'm just going to be real with you here this morning. You're not alone. All right, so I'm just going to let you in behind the curtain. You want to know what mine are? Here are my gremlins. My gremlins are fear of rejection. You're going to reject me, right? No matter what I do, no matter how I show up, no matter what I say, no matter what I don't say, rejection. That's the biggest gremlin for me, thanks to my everybody committee. The second one for me is I don't have anything significant to say. What a spot that is for me, because I speak every now and then, don't I, and teach, and so these gremlins pop up for me a lot. I don't have anything significant to say. And what are you going to say this morning, Karen? And when I set out to try something new or get better at something, I really have the gremlin, you're not good enough at it. You're not going to be good enough at it. Why even start? Just give up now. You're not good enough, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Started early with softball and went on and on and on, right? Even though I was all state, not good enough, whatever. You see, it doesn't matter the reality of our life and the truth of who we are. Well, I thought I'd bring a nice treat to you because I tend to talk to her every now and then, and I said, so Petra, what are yours? You want to know her gremlins? Might surprise you. Ready? Petra's gremlins. I don't have anything to say. Don't y'all find that ridiculous? Really? See, we're the everybody that knows how brilliant she is and that she does have something to say, right? But that's one of her key big gremlins. I don't have anything to say. Oh my gosh. I don't fit in. No matter where she is, what committee, community, hey guys, I'm letting you in behind the curtain. Whatever it is, she's in leadership and has been for decades, double decades at Centers for Spiritual Living. I don't fit in. That's a big gremlin. And nobody's going to like me. I know, what? We love you. Man. But, hey, wait, y'all didn't do that for me. Oh my God, my gremlin is acting up so bad right now. Thank you. Oh, shut up. Be quiet. All right. Woo. And this is a good one for her. What's the point? Like, is it really going to make a difference if I do this? What's the point, right? And for her, trying something new. Isn't this interesting? Trying something new, it's not going to be as good as it needs to be. She too has that one, okay? It's not on the PowerPoint, but there you go. Oh, the gremlin. Shut up, Karen. You didn't put that one on either, right? Right. Okay, but let me tell you the big one for both of us. We hold the same one really big time. You want to know what that one is? Oh, man. I don't know that y'all experience this. Maybe it's just us. We're just unique and different. Comparison. Well, your talk was better than my talk. Or, any aspect comparison. It's a huge gremlin to compare oneself. Comparison is odious, but do my gremlins listen? No. Comparison. And usually there are a lot of people one can compare themselves to in any area and aspect. Parenting, oh my gosh, teaching, profession, health, oh my God, they lose weight faster than me. Whatever it is, photography, it's just comparison. So, last week, these are the gremlins. I'm sure you've got some of these and some of your own. Last week, Dr. Tracy's talk, she talked about their directive and receptive practices, right? For all you that were here. So, to tame our gremlins is definitely a directive practice, okay, folks? There's nothing receptive about this. Oh, please take my gremlins away. No, it's directive, right? And it's time for all of us, each of us, to finally take charge, okay? Now, I was in Uganda, and I got to be with the gorillas, like up close and personal. But everywhere we went, if you think about it in nature, in any grouping, there's an alpha, right? There's the alpha gorilla. There's, even here with ducks and birds, pecking order, right? There's an alpha everywhere. So we are each our own alpha. Okay? Someone saw a picture that I took. I only shared a little bit, thank goodness, because I was in the moment. But I shared a few iPhone pictures, and one of them was an alpha gorilla, and it was like, it looks disturbed and scared. I'm like, are you kidding? That alpha knows his place. It was just a twig that went, oh, what is that? Oh, no, I'm the alpha. I'm not concerned. Really? I'm not concerned because I'm the alpha. So, you're in charge. That's what I'm here to tell you. You're in charge. You're not in charge of the situations or circumstances in your life, perhaps, but you are in charge of where your brain goes, and you are in charge of your feelings, and you are in charge of where those feelings will take you because of those feelings. So, we're in charge. And so today, we're in charge, and we're going to start this process. You are going to start this process here and at home. We're going to be in charge, and it's time to start the process of burning the gremlins away. You ready?
Yeah.
I think you are too. All right, Petra.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. Oh my gosh.
I'm not done yet, but you can. I'm not going
to burn
to you.
We're
But
ready to burn our gremlins away. So, if you should have 2 little pieces of flash paper. If you do not have these 2 little pieces of flash paper and a pen, which may or may not work, please raise your hand, and our ritual team will bring you your flash paper. Okay, so if you didn't get one coming in, and our Joy Village, our kids in Joy Village are doing this at home, are doing this in Joy Village. Now, for those of you at home, you do not have flash paper. So we're going to ask you to just get a small piece of paper. You're going to need a small piece of paper and a pen. And you're going to get slightly different instructions, because if you burn your paper in your house, all it will do is smell it up with smoke. So your job is going to be a little bit different. Unless you want to go outside and burn it afterwards. But we want you to participate. So right now, get out your piece of paper and a pen. All right, and everybody has their 2 little flash papers, right? So there's 2. The reason you have 2 is because we have 2 slightly different things that we're going to burn. And so, Brad, if we could just have a small amount of quiet music. I'm going to invite you just to go in for a moment. Whether you're at home or here in the sanctuary, just to go within, go inside yourself. And I'm going to ask you what resonated with what Karen has shared so far. What are your gremlins? What gremlins are you ready, willing, and able, or maybe not able, it doesn't matter, ready and willing to release? Who's standing in your way that's on your everybody committee? And as you become aware of that, I'm going to invite you to take one of your flash papers, or at home, one side of the paper that you have, and write down in shorthand, because you only have a little piece, the name of the person or people, how you would identify the gremlin or gremlins that you're going to let go of. Just going to take a minute or two to invite you to allow that to come forward and to write on your flash paper. So just take a deep breath. So as you are continuing to consider this, we did not get a chance to have our burning bowl at the beginning of January. And maybe you're carrying into 2022 something from last year that you don't want to keep carrying. So we also want to give you the opportunity to release that which is standing in the way of you painting a new picture in your life. So just reflect over the last year or so, anything that you have carried into this moment, something that's standing between you and your ability to paint your new picture. And on that second piece of flash paper, or for those of you at home, turn your paper over. This is what you're going to release from 2021, what you're no longer going to carry around with you. So I'm going to just give you a minute or two to write that down. All right, and so finishing up what you've written on your flash paper and what you have written at home. These things are the things that are standing in the way of our new picture. These are the things that we're holding on to, or that are holding on to us. That right now, we are going to move into that place of who we truly, authentically, really are. So the ritual team is going to guide you here at home, here in the sanctuary. For those of you at home, just hang tight with your piece of paper. I'm going to give you instructions in a little bit. The ritual team is going to come forward, and they're going to release you row by row, section by section. You're going to come up here, and I want you to, as deliberately as you can, release this into our bowl. For those of you at home, you're going to have an opportunity to do this in a moment. And while we're doing that, we are going to chant, we're going to sing, I Will Be, as our affirmation that we are, in fact, taming these gremlins. We're releasing what we've been carrying around so that we can claim who we have come here to be. So if the ritual team would come forward, and the music team, if you are coming forward, I will be.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
All right, so for those of you at home, if you are not going to go outside and burn yours, please don't burn your paper inside your house. What you're going to do while we are doing our flash paper here in this room, what you're going to do is you're going to tear up that little piece of paper into the tiniest little pieces you can. And after this is over, you're going to go flush them down the toilet. All right. So we're going to burn our gremlins away, and then we are going to sing the chorus of I Release. So are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Ooh, is my little stick ready? Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey!
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only talking. I'm not done yet. Amen. As I heard a lot in Africa. Hallelujah. Yeah. Yes. All right. Okay, so we released and let it go, right? So what we've really done, in addition to that, is what Peter said, is we've also released and let go of any thoughts that the gremlins are in charge. Amen. So it's time to tame them, all right? Let's tame them. So how do we do that? Well, I can use a few ways in which I have done this over the past few years. And so one of my gremlins, as I shared, is like whatever it is I'm not good enough at, fill in the blank when I try to do something. So a gremlin that shows up a lot is I'm not good enough as a professional wildlife photographer, right? And I'm just not good enough at it. And comparison, oh my gosh, there's so many good people at that. And it's like, so when it comes to photography, like how do I tame those gremlins? And the one key way that I have done that and to tame this particular one is quite frankly, I just get out and do it anyway. I just get out and do it anyway. Do you hear me? I don't care what they're saying and what's happening. I just tame it by I'm gonna do it anyway. And I do it as frequently as I can. And the gremlins don't stop me from doing it anyway. So I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna learn how to do this. And I'm gonna watch this YouTube video. I'm gonna, now practice this. Or just do it anyway. And even do it anyway when I don't have any proof that I'm improving. It's like that, when you haven't seen someone for a long time, you can see how they've changed instantly. But when you see someone every day, not so much. Well, we're that person with us all the time. We have to get out and do it anyway. And imagine that then I'm meeting that person a year down the road instead of every single day, because that's where you get to see the significant change, right? So you get out and do it anyway. Keep doing it. And the other thing is, for me in this, is to tame the gremlin is to be fully present to myself in that moment when I'm doing it anyway. To be fully present, no matter what I'm doing. That gremlin or those voices are not going to steal my joy. I'm going to be fully present to this moment. I had gremlins on this trip of a lifetime, been dreaming about it. New technology, new camera, new everything. Also, as a spiritual leader, never done that before, to sort of meld the two passions, my two favorite passions. And is this going to work? I don't know, and all this. But I just showed up in every single moment. So I want to share with you, for the first time, because it feels like it to me, a first time where I can show with you how my doing it anyway, what's transpired. It's the first time I've ever seen some pictures that make me cry. So we're going to hit the lights. I'm just going to show you 5. Everybody's been saying, I love your pictures, because I didn't post much during the trip intentionally, but they were iPhone pictures. So I just yesterday got 5 pictures out of thousands. We're talking probably tens of thousands. These aren't the best. I just chose 5, okay? And I want to share them. To tame the gremlin, do it anyway. It's a beautiful leopard in a tree that was full, and the kill was in the second tree. And we all got beautiful iPhone pictures, but I got different pictures through my lens of love. Thank you. This is an oxpecker on the back of a rhino. I have other pictures of that I'll enter into a contest, but this one just caught my eye yesterday. I love the vibrancy of the bill and the eyes and the yellows and the surface that it's riding on, right? Some elephants at a watering hole. babies, and, so they're all drinking up the abundance of life. This is a bee eater. I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but I probably will enter this in a contest because it's holding a dragonfly, and the dragonfly is green and matches the bee eater. So people at home are probably seeing this better than you right now. But I really loved, and I kept doing it anyway, and I kept moving and moving and moving until I finally positioned myself where the sun was. I was on the side where the sun was hitting the bird, and all of the colors just went crazy. And this is one of my favorites. This one meant a great deal to me and the people in my Jeep, who I will cherish these moments forever. The people in my Jeep are etched in my heart forever, just like the people of South Africa, because I wanted to see one of the big lions, and we got to see two. So this is one of the captures, unedited, of this lion. Yeah. So that's just enough for now, but I'm going to... So I share this because we've got to tell those gremlins, no, I'm not going to let you run me. You have no place here. We each have to discipline our mind not to go there. So this isn't about processing them to death or making friends with them. We've got to tame them, right? And there's a difference between the process of breaking a horse and taming a horse. Right? When you tame the horse, you do it consistently. You're not angry. You're not hostile. You don't have to be angry at these gremlins. It's just, I'm the alpha. No. It's like training a puppy. You don't have to be harsh with the puppy. You just say no. No, you can't go here. No, you don't pee there. No, right? It's like with all the groundedness within us, right? I went through a lot of stuff on this trip. I had stuff on this trip. Everybody gets stuff on this trip, right? We have stuff in our daily lives. And one of my gremlins, right, is rejection. So what I did to tame that gremlin, because boy, did it come up every day and most moments, it felt like, as I was leading the group, is I kept telling myself, no, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to listen to this everybody committee that says these 15 people are rejecting me right now. Not just one, but it felt like most, if not all, at times, right? That was my stuff. It didn't matter what was going on, but I had to say I'm not focusing on that. I'm in Africa, in the bush, and the most magnificent trip. See, the gremlins will try to steal your joy. And I said, I'm not going to focus on that. In fact, I'm going to act as if I'm not rejected. That's how I tamed it. Well, how would you act if you're not rejected, Karen? How do you show up? And then I get to act and show up as my normal self-centered, not self-centered, grounded. Y'all are going, yeah, she told the truth right there. Right? So, as I'm not rejected, I show up. And then because I showed up, guess what happened? I wasn't rejected. That energy went away. I don't know if it came from them or I don't know if it came from within me, but it didn't matter because I tamed the gremlins over and over and over again. I had a breakdown, a meltdown. My Jeep knew it. I felt so rejected. And it was my stuff. They were probably going through their own gremlins, you think? Perhaps, right? Comparison. Petra leads these sacred travel trips so much better than me. Oh my gosh, in the spiritual practice and the deep. See, I had to tame those gremlins. So the key about this is we think that if we feel something, it's true. And just because we feel something doesn't make it true. Our feelings are a product of a false thought. That's the lie. It's okay to feel your feelings, but the feelings doesn't make it true. The feelings of rejection didn't make it true. So don't be afraid to get close to it. Remember, you're the alpha, right? You're in charge. You might not be in charge of the situation or the circumstance, but we are in charge of where our brain goes. And we are in charge of our feelings and how that makes us react and act. And so Ernest Holmes tells us, make a habit of entertaining in mind only those thoughts and ideas which we wish to experience in outward form. I only entertain the thought that I was a good photographer. I only entertain the thoughts that I was a good spiritual leader. I only entertain the thoughts that I belong, right? And so if this experience that we're having in that moment is not right, we've got to change the thought or the pattern which is the cause of it. And that's how we tame our gremlins. I want to give you one more thing real quick on how to tame these gremlins, thanks to Martha Beck. We go back to the Everybody Committee. It's really brilliant. Take some time this week, this is your homework, to figure out which members of your current committee are against you. Make a list. They've been with you probably a long time, right? The ones with negative judgments that haunt you. Name the people. Take some time to do that. You put them on the paper, but now take some time in case you left some out. And here's the thing. Once you've named them and you know who they are, it's 1 to 6, not many. Tell them, you no longer have a seat on my committee. Hand them their pink slips, fire them, and say, I'm heading in another direction. Fire them. You're in charge. You're the alpha. And in place of them, you do this with employees that were running your company havoc, like those gremlins. And in place, especially the chair of this committee, choose the most compassionate person, someone who loves you unconditionally to chair that committee. You are the chair of my Everybody Committee now. I put you in this seat. I'm in charge. And if you don't know anyone that loves you unconditionally, that's okay. Find a fictional character, someone in history, Kermit the Frog. I mean, really, someone that you can put in. And then what you do, the next step over the next 90 days, you have the chair of your committee talk to that chair and have them become a snowball. Like a snowball, it rolls down the hill, and what does it do? It starts gathering more and more things. So you're going to gather people similar. If you want to be a blog writer, go to Google and find similar blog writers, that are going to support you. Find people in this community that are going to, and use that. And put the people in the seats of your Everybody Committee that are here, like Peter is in my life, to support you, lift you up, and say, you're the alpha, you're in charge, and you're great. That's how we tame the gremlins. Because they're no longer running the show. It's time to tame them. Remember, you're the alpha. You're the most magnificent, limitless, God-gifted, spiritual person. The universe decided to choose you in this moment. So tame those gremlins once and for all and paint a new picture for your life. I'm happy to be home.